Hey, my name is Chance. Welcome to my series or just channel where I'm talking about benzo withdrawal and benzo tapering and benzo recovery. I just recorded like a 3 or 4 minute video, and I said in that video that it wasn't going to be that long, and it wasn't. But I felt like I was too much all over the place, and I know people need words of encouragement and stuff. So I'll just state the facts that you've probably seen in my other videos already, because today I wanted to talk about really one thing in particular. Um, and that's it. So I was on 40 milligrams for about 4 years of diazepam, and I switched to Xanax for about 4 months, tapered. That was because I hadn't been able to see a doctor. Switched back to diazepam for another 2 years. At that point, I was at 20 milligrams, so I dropped 20 in like 3 or 4 months, and it's horrible. And then more recently, feels like a year ago already. In November 2018, I stopped almost completely excuse me, of all diazepam. Went back to Xanax again. Then once again, switched back. Sorry, I just got into the house. I'm really foggy headed. I've stabilized now at 10 milligrams. Which is awesome. I dropped 10 in 2-3 months. It was also one of the worst experiences of my life, if not the worst, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. There is, without a doubt, one symptom of benzo withdrawal that easily overshadowed the anxiety, the dizziness, the agitation, the pain, the shaking, all of that just pales in comparison to derealization and depersonalization to me. If you don't know what it is, or you haven't experienced it at all during your taper or withdrawal, which I sincerely doubt, but if you haven't, that's great. I don't want you to ever have that. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Basically, it's not many people want to describe it as a disorder, but it's basically it's a way of your mind coping with a traumatic experience by disconnecting you from your body or things around you, so things feel strange and weird. Things might seem unfamiliar. You might feel like you're a little person controlling your body, stuck in your head. That's depersonalization, more of it. You touch yourself because your skin, because you don't feel real. And I'm sure you could look it up. It's terrible, right? Now, my problem is, and what sticks with me now, even I've been stable about a month on 10 milligrams, hoping to start my taper either today or tomorrow. I wanted to stabilize because I took a trip to Miami. Yeah, that's right. The same guy you saw in those other videos got on a plane and went to Miami. Remember that. That's just words of encouragement for today. So, derealization and depersonalization, unfortunately, when you experience it too much or too traumatically or too often, you start to have thoughts, ruminations. So when I first started having this disorder, which was unrelated to the benzos, when I was maybe, I think the first time I ever felt like disconnected from my body and stuff, and it freaked me out a little, but I didn't have a panic attack or anything. I was like 12 years old, and that was related to trauma and stuff when I was a kid and abuse and stuff. And I love my family and stuff. I won't get too much into that, but I did experience some horrible events that my body had and my mind had to react to. It was in very small increments that I would have these kind of sudden bursts of disassociation, but I would always come right back to them and never thought anything of it. I always thought it had something to do with a unrelated disorder or something. This time, unfortunately, it was drawn out and long, and I didn't even notice it. And I remember I was sitting literally there's a table behind me, and I was sitting there, and I was talking to a friend. It was 1 a.m. This was a few months ago. This was actually probably shortly after my first video or shortly before my first video. And everything, just the world, this is a huge trigger warning for anyone who has depersonalization or derealization or is in benzo withdrawals. Don't think that you're going to get it the way I did. and use my story as hope, because for as much as it's followed me out of withdrawal, most of it is gone, and I can operate and live normally, and everything feels okay. So I was sitting right there, and all of a sudden everything felt just like super unfamiliar and scary, and I started just like it was like reality was breaking down and stuff like that, and it was horrible. And the feeling subsides as soon as you can comprehend the anxiety. You can go, this is just anxiety, because again, it's your body trying to disconnect you from a traumatic experience, whatever it may be. Uh, and unfortunately, it's such a scary experience that you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to calm down if this whole experience is being fueled by this, and it's just a vicious circle, and it's you do have to break it eventually, and I did. But what didn't leave, and it's more related to me having OCD, are the thoughts that come with that. So when you start feeling like that for too long, and the reason I'm saying all this is because I feel like the biggest part of a lot of benzo withdrawal, as terrible and annoying as some of it is, it's the stuff that makes you feel so hopeless, is the time usually that it takes to grow less symptomatic, and depersonalization. Because most people don't realize that they're having it, that they're going through it. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, and I've talked to a lot of people in person. I've talked to people on Facebook forums who have described the symptoms to me and don't realize that that's what they have. I didn't know. I had no idea. I just was like, yo, what is this feeling? Like, things don't feel real. And once I found the word derealization, depersonalization, and I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. It's terrible. It really is. But it's harmless. That's what I'm here to talk about too. So, few things. So let's get through it. If you're experiencing any of this stuff and you didn't know what it was or what it is, hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about and know or anyone else on here and know, yes, I'm not alone. Holy shit, I can get through this. And two, that it's only as bad as it is because even walking out of this disease, I have, obsessive problems where I just couldn't let them go. And even these are slowly being addressed, and the disease is going to go away. I want to say I'm on the outside looking into something that I never thought that I would get out of. I don't like watching my own videos because it's fucking weird. But if I go back and I look at the stuff that I faced and I dealt with, I still can't believe that those feelings left, because they're so severe and intense that there's no way that it's not your whole reality. That's what it feels like. And you can talk to as many people as you want. You can talk to as many professionals as you want. You can read as many read as many articles, read as many forum entries, and you're still like, there's no way that this shit's gonna go away. Mine is almost gone. My recovery, unfortunately, despite it following me after I took my diazepam and stabled out. I'm talking to you now, and I'm pretty calm. I had a good meal. I gained a little bit of weight back and lost some. It's pretty good. I got on a plane, 2 planes, one there, one back, to Miami. Enjoyed myself, seeing my family, and I'm back to work. My whole series has always been, there's hope. I felt obligated to come back here, like I said, and I still got a long way to go. Because, eventually I want to be completely rid of this drug. And I didn't think it would be fair if I just turned away like a lot of people do, because once you're out of that shit, you don't want to ever look back. You want to look back at that experience, not in a unnecessary way. Maybe to count your blessings and go, damn, I made it through that. But a lot of people leave the groups and stuff, and I just at least wanted to, come back here and share like a message of hope. The only reason that I'm even still on 10 milligrams and not 7.5, because I was hoping to do the top cuts at 25% until I hit maybe 5, and then just start micro tapering, is because of, again, I think I mentioned this in the last video, and they did kind of figure out what was going on. There's like a nerve in my neck that was causing severe dizziness and vertigo. And the reason I'm raising my voice is because, unfortunately, one of the first things they give you, besides antivert and whatnot, is diazepam, because it helps with dizziness a lot. So that's just the way the world works. I quit drinking, quit smoking. I've been booze free for almost 5 months. Hoping to keep it that way, especially while I'm still taking diazepam. The biggest problem has been derealization and depersonalization. And I feel like just saying that, if anybody watching this could take a step back and just go, yeah, these feelings of disassociation, disconnection from my family and friends, you start having these crazy thoughts. And I know I may seem a little vague, and it's because I don't want to say anything that's going to get people's minds going when it doesn't have to. It's frustrating, and I think that if a lot of people knew that they were dealing with that issue, that everything else would be a lot of physical and mental discomfort. The ruminations would make more sense, because giving something a name helps, symbolizing. A lot of people have done that with things in their past traumas, diseases, ex-boyfriends and girlfriends, giving them bad names, and then, kind of giving shape to a situation so that it makes it easier to deal with. And I didn't know what I was going through. I had probably the worst panic attack of my life right there. I fucking almost screamed, and I felt like there was no escape. Felt like everything around me was just kind of like shattering and breaking apart. But if I had known immediately, and I had found, someone who could explain it, who knew, I would have been better off. And that's what, I'm doing here with my borderline nonsensical ranting. I just want people to have hope. That's it. It's hard to talk about it when I'm not feeling terrible. But I said, you know what, I got time, I finished work, I don't gotta cook dinner till later. It's like I'm just playing guitar and hanging out. And I think these, eventually, once benzo tapering is done, hopefully within the next year, I'll do some more videos on depersonalization and derealization. And I'll discuss those, because that is hands down, to me, half of my withdrawal, 60-70% of my withdrawal shit cake, as in you gotta eat the shit cake, was the derealization. Everything else, the like horrible nerve pain, the shaking, the sweating, the dizziness, that stuff is terrible, and it sucks, and it's not to belittle anyone who's facing it or going through it, but it pales in comparison. Like, if I had to take a set of 30 or 40 symptoms, diarrhea, vomiting, fucking hair loss, I would gladly take those for a year, 2 years, over 2 months of the derealization I had to deal with, and the thoughts I still have to deal with. Case in point, because I'm going to end this video in about the next minute or so. If you're dealing with feelings of disconnection, disassociation, you feel like things don't make sense anymore, you're questioning the fabric of reality, you're questioning time, you're questioning this, you're questioning that, you're feeling certain things, know that is in itself one big symptom of benzo withdrawal. I really can't stress more how, because I've went through benzo withdrawal before, obviously, when I dropped to 20 milligrams, and those feelings were almost non-existent. They were triggered by a horrible anxiety episode where I was pretty much cold turkeying for about 2 or 3 days a few months ago. And now the sun is shining again, and I'm tapering. Not as slow as I should, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a try doing a nice chunk of tapering. And it's not for everybody. You should take it slow. But I've done it before, and it did work for me. And if it doesn't, then, we'll take this one step at a time. If you're feeling like that, talk to somebody about it. Drink tons of water. I know you're probably like, what the fuck, dude? I'm losing my mind right now. You're telling me to drink water? It saved me. It did. Electrolytes and all that stuff repairs the brain. Everything that is going on around you, your whole life in reality, is your brain. So feed your brain, and it will give you proper, correct information. And water is something it needs. I had a friend of mine. She was a nurse, and she told me, she was like, "You need to drink water." And I was like, "You fucking kidding me right now? Telling me to fucking drink water? You need to drink water." But she's thankfully, she put me in my place and was like, "You need water because you're not eating, you're sweating more," and just pointed out stuff that I couldn't see, obviously, when you were drawing. Water and laughter saved my whole life. Anyway, I gotta go. This is 15 minutes long. If you made it through this, find me on Instagram. Thank you. If I sound like I didn't mean much, it's depersonalization, derealization in Benzo Withdrawals. Probably what's fucking with you the most. Don't let it win. Stay strong. Have hope. Make it through the other side. Celebrate your stabilization. If you stabilize, celebrate that. Because then at least you feel normal or okay. And Benzo Withdrawals anything but okay. So if you can even feel that for a day, you're on your way to having your life back. See you later. Love you guys.